to hear, what's going on with door knocking. I know that Marcelo had mentioned a way to prospect would be through door knocking, right? So now things are a little bit different with COVID. Don't come knocking on my door because I'm not opening the door, right? So I will say that some of my team partners are still having some success with door knocking, and they have to do it completely differently. Is anyone currently doing that? I'd love to hear what people are actually doing and what preventions they're actually taking. I know Chandra's also not doing door knocking. She's not leaving her home. And any feedback from any of you who are actually door knocking?
I do not. And the way I do it is I look for a for sale by owner in my farming area, and I go to his house and I offer him a free open house. I sign a contract with him for 1 week so that if I do sell the home, I get paid, and I go around the house, the neighborhood, and I flyer the area. So basically what I'm doing is
And Tori, was it something you were doing before COVID?
I did it
Was this
before
something
COVID.
you were doing before COVID?
I did it before
and you're still
COVID,
doing it now?
and I still do it now. Before, when I did it before COVID, I actually door knocked and I gave my flyers. Now I just do, and I put my door hangers on the doorknob. I don't door knock anymore. So it still works out. And I usually get a bunch of people coming to my open houses during that time. And the objective is just to get buyers. It's not to really to sell that home. It's just to get buyers.
Got it. Okay, so I was going to ask you what type of success were you seeing before and seeing now, right? So you're prospecting for buyers, which I think is really smart. So the challenge with our buyers right now is that there's very little inventory, right? If something is very well, that you've got 10 contracts on that property. So you've got to have major skills to be able to get them across the finish line. So are you having success with the door knocking or the FSBOs now, or no?
Not like I was before, but yes, I'm still getting success. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Now I have more buyers, and of course, just hard to find them homes. So we're the last 2 properties that I've sold, we've actually offered more than asking price.
If anybody has buyers and you can find inventory, let me go ahead and recommend that you check out, maybe show them some of my condos, because I got a bunch of condos still. It's a whole different market.
Can you say that? Got it.
The condo market is not.
Yeah, that if anyone that has problems finding inventory, show them my condos.
Yeah, but the problem with the condos is the financing, right? And the money that's required to put down on a lot of these condos.
So there's never really an single family homes
issue, right? There's never really an issue with inventory with the condos. It's the single family homes, especially if we're talking about under 350 right now, there's almost nothing. So we have to become creative in how to create some inventory. Yeah, no, there's almost nothing under 350. It's ridiculous. And like, they're going under contract, like sight unseen. People are putting in offers over asking without even seeing these homes. So condo market's not the problem. There's a ton of inventory there. But now the issue with that is also the amount of money that's required to put down on a lot of these condos. And the condo buildings that you can only come in with 0, 3, or 5%, there's not that many. So that creates an issue in itself. Prospecting right now, though, one thing that I've been doing, though, is increasing my vendors list. So in the past couple months, what I've had to do was prospect lenders, because kind of like, what was his name? What company was that he was just speaking? So all of these lenders have different requirements. So what I found is that just increasing the number of vendors, and as far as lenders go, has helped get more buyers under contract, because you have some lenders, I talk to them and they're like, nope, we can't do that. 2 years tax returns, this, that, they have to have a 660. Meanwhile, another lender is going to be a lot more flexible, and it it obviously doesn't help with the issue with the inventory, but it at least helps now with prospecting my database. The people that were not able to close earlier on in COVID, now I can reach out to them now and say, hey, some of these guidelines are a lot less strict now, and we can probably get you pre-approved, and probably for more now than in March, because interest rates are also significantly lower. So reaching out to more of these lenders has definitely helped. We've been able to get 2 buyers under contract in the past 2 weeks just from doing that, because they weren't able to buy in April, but now they are because of the guidelines, being less strict with certain lenders.
So I think that's all great information. So I will say that during this period with COVID, it's going to be even more important that we have honest conversations with our sellers. I know a lot of sellers want top dollar for their property, especially with condos. And when you overprice them, you end up having to deal with major headaches and the pain. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Never mind. We don't hear you. Oh, there you go. You're back. You froze for a second, Peter.
Hey guys, sorry I froze. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, and wait, hold on. Hello?
Peter, maybe turn off your camera.
No, you were on
Because
mute, Peter.
Sorry guys, my internet is terrible.
And
So,
just do what I do,
really,
and just put your profile picture and just just talk.
is this better? Okay.
Yep.
Thanks for that tip. I just learned something new for business during COVID. All right, so here's what I was trying to suggest. We need to be confident in letting our sellers know that properties need to be priced well and not just take a listing because we want an overpriced listing. It's pretty painful having to have those conversations when you have to reduce the price. So go in there, be completely transparent with your clients. But what I really wanted us to talk more about is how are you doing your listing presentations while COVID is actually happening right now? Because we've always been virtual as a team, but now more than ever, we are finding even more success using all of our virtual tools during COVID. Are any of you fully virtual at this point?
To an extent. To an extent, Peter.
Okay, and what extent is that for you? Because I know that you, I know we've had multiple conversations, and you've been very responsible with wearing your mask and going out shooting your properties. But at what point did you stop going in to do face-to-face listing presentations?
It's just a little bit different now. So for instance, before COVID, something that we always done is we send the listing package via email or Dropbox, or we send it to them to review it. Pretty much summarizes our value proposition. And then if the seller has any questions, then we meet in person, and then basically I address any questions that they may have. And I like that a lot because it basically saved time. And then the listing presentation was less about, myself as an agent, and more about the pricing and the inventory and the market and the product. In this case, it's very similar, but we just try to limit interaction as much as possible. And that second portion of the presentation, we'll just do it over the phone or via video chat or something like that.
Thank you for sharing, Marcelo. Is anyone doing something a little bit different with their business now than they were before COVID?
I've actually been getting a lot of referral business, and I've been doing a lot of just consultations and meetings virtually with agents from all over the US, giving them information on the area and and just whatever they need. And that has definitely transformed like my referral network, because I used to not have that much time, and now I'm at least doing 2 to 3 calls a week with agents in other states, like people that maybe we followed each other on social media and we've always engaged. I'm like, let's jump on a Zoom call, let's connect, and then we get to know each other. And I've had 2 or 3 agents refer me business just by doing that alone. So I think that's something that's definitely was inspired by COVID, but I'll continue to do that throughout my business, because these people, you can't really meet with them if they don't live here. So being able to take that time and have like a Zoom conference with them has definitely been helpful. Is there anybody else? I mean, how is everybody else's business going during COVID? I know for some of us, it's been very busy. We have low inventory and a ton of buyers with amazing interest rates and just not being able to find the properties. Has anybody have any creative ways on how to find more inventory?
I used especially back when we were in quarantine, I took the time to learn a new market, which was new development. And there's plenty of inventory. I mean, there was always inventory there. It was something that I wanted to get, that I wanted to learn more about. And when I had that time, and obviously some of these are pre-construction, so you don't have to visit them. It just, that was something that was pretty effective, and it helped me also, let's say, start targeting a new customer, which is, buyers looking for new construction.
I have a comment to add, actually to piggyback off of what Marcelo just said. I got into a relationship with a builder who offered agent open houses. So we could go in and host an open house to one of the models, and anyone who came in, if we got them to commit on that day, we can earn the commission for that. And this is via COVID as well. That's awesome.
That's awesome. I actually think that anyone that's new, and I wasn't at that session. I mean, this is a great way. If you don't have inventory, but let's say you already know the market or the neighborhood you want to target. I mean, most of these developers, they welcome the opportunity to speak with more agents, because for them, the more awareness, the better. The more people they're talking to, the better. And I mean, once you have you never know. You never know who might just have a buyer, or who might not, who might know somebody that might end up turning into, the next resident of that project, whether it's already been constructed or it's set to be constructed, or it's getting finalized and it's just waiting its TCO or something. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it either. I mean, the commissions are great as well.
Yeah, so I will say, Marcelo, what you mentioned about learning a new market, it's fantastic. I know that you not just learned it, but you're crushing it, because I obviously follow you and I get all your newsletters. Thanks for sending them. I read everything. So congratulations, Tequila. I think that's an important piece of feedback to give everyone, to reach out to some of these developers and offer to host an open house for them. I think is also great. It's important for everyone to recognize that we do have multiple markets, right? We have the single family home market. We've got the new development market where inventory levels for that are extremely, extremely low. And not a lot of new inventory is going to hit the market for multiple years. And then we've got the condo market that's oversaturated with a lot of inventory that's overpriced. So get to know something, work it as hard as you can, and stop trying to learn every single part of, the real estate business. If you just focus on something small and just give it 110%, there's no way that you won't have success. And to Bethany's point, this is probably the busiest time that any of us, any realtor that I know is selling real estate right now, everyone is having a lot of success. And it's because they are staying active, they're staying committed, they're following a schedule, they have a coach, they're part of a team, they're just staying motivated. So don't allow COVID to completely distract you, because there is a lot of business out there. Everyone always needs shelter and people always need food. And so if they need to sell, rent, or buy, you should be the first person that they reach out to. Danya, are you on this call? I'm frozen, so I don't know if you're on here or not.
Danya, there she is.
Hey.
Hey, Danya, on our last call, I was just saying that I'm getting a lot of your advertisements, which are incredible. I'm on vacation and I'm starting to see what you're doing. So I think your, what service are you using that allows you to promote all of your listings throughout social media and ways?
Oh, Megaphone. It's actually, well, Remax calls it Megaphone, but it's actually HomeSnap. So you know that I'm a huge advocate of HomeSnap, and every time I get a chance to talk about it, I'm like the biggest fan. Every year, it's like it's an investment, obviously, but obviously it's an investment in your marketing so that everybody like you can see you. It's $500 or $400 a year. I'm not sure. I know that when you start up, they give you an introductory rate, and then every year after that, they give you, I guess it's like 500, and then every single week, it'll post a picture on Google, and then you can actually, like when you search my name, Danya Diaz, Miami, you'll see that I have like an actual business page, which is great because when people are searching you, I look like a legit business. And then there, all of my listings, there's a portal that I have, and you can boost Instagram, Facebook, Waze, and Google. And then they have like budget ranges. And I think it's like 50 to 100, and then obviously up from there. And so I'll typically do like 100 on Google, 100 on Waze, and then I'll do like 100 on Instagram. But I've actually found that I'm really into digital boosting. I've taught quite a few classes, and I'm a really strong believer, and especially now the digital world. And it has, my game of obtaining listings has tremendously increased since I started utilizing digital marketing avenues. But the Waze, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Google from HomeSnap, you can literally do it in 2 seconds and it will automate the ad for you, and then you can edit it. And it's something that you have a dashboard. I'm gonna try to open it real quick. And then typically when I'm on a listing presentation, I'll just kind of pull out my phone and then I'll go to my dashboard, and then it shows you my business page and then all of the properties that I'm boosting or that I have boosted. And then if you look at my listings or my dashboard, hold on. So I'm boosting this ad right now. I just listed this property and it's sold, thank God, in like 3 days. But again, like everybody right now is looking online and everybody's relying on digital content. And here's what I tell sellers. You're not only going to be on the MLS, you're not only going to have a sign in your yard, you're not only going to be blasted to every single realtor in Miami that's working with active buyers, but people that are searching in your zip code, my properties, my ads are going to follow them on Google, Instagram, Facebook, Waze. And this stuff is like automated, and then it gives you like how many views you've had, and then it gives you like the leads that you have. And if you use this, plus I boost, I kind of made my own system for Instagram and Facebook. I boost all of my videos on my Facebook business page. I probably spend like anywhere from 100 to 300, 400, 500, depending on the caliber of the listing or how long it takes to sell. And I just feel like if someone's searching in 33176 and they're looking for a house and they like this house on Zillow or Google, Google's gonna recognize that. And then if they see it on Waze, they see it on Instagram, they see it on Facebook, they see it here, they see it in a newsletter, they see it online, you know, it's just exposure. And like I say, the more times someone walks into a property, or the more times people see a property, the more likely they are to walk in and love it. So digital marketing arena, if you're not like in it, you know, especially like, okay, obviously when you first start, this is probably like a question, like, you know, it's a huge investment. But, you know, and even though this sounds, a lot of people can't really wrap their head around this, but this is what I would propose. Everybody has a credit card. So on your first listing, you may not have, you know, the $1,000 that I typically inject into these listings, you know, initially. You may not have it, but, you know, you have to see it as an investment of, you can use this now for your next listing appointment. And I get so passionate about it that the sellers, they read that from me, plus they see the quality I'm giving them. And if they're interviewing 3 agents and the next agent isn't showing them stuff like this, it gives me a leg up. And then another thing that I've done over the time is I've actually created on my phone, I've screenshot a lot of the digital ads that I'm doing. Like I have a Facebook digital marketing folder, so that on the spot, on the fly, at a listing appointment, or even just a conversation with a friend or a family about like possibly selling something, I'll just kind of be like, hey, look, you know, these are all the digital ads that I've done. You know, here's some videos that I've done. Here's a link to some 3D tours. I actually got a referral from Chile, from a conference. Conferences are great to attend because you network and you develop these relationships. And I had someone from Chile contact me. There's a property that's listed. The agent isn't really having much luck. And they gave me the address. And when I pulled up the MLS, it was terrible, terrible quality. So what do? I send them screenshots of what I've done. I send them a link to my business Google page, which has all 5-star reviews. And then I also send them links to the property specific websites for properties that I've sold or currently have listed. I send them links to the 3D tours. I send them links to the YouTube channel with videos. And these are all things that I have built over time. But like I said, I feel like the more money that I've invested in digital ads and the more that I've captured screenshot and files, digital files of what I've been doing, and then putting them on my social media channels, the more people will recognize and respect what I'm doing. Because of course, we all know somebody, you know, who has a real estate license. So, and most people don't really understand the differences of, you know, between agents. So like with this referral that I got, I showed him, look, this is the type of quality that I'm doing. You know, I can't go after the listing that's already there because it's a violation of ethics, but I'm showing you as my referral partner. And then you could say whatever you want to say to them, but they're going to see the differences, you know? I just think that like a digital billboard is so important. And like I've said in other classes and presentations that I've done, like you just have to start somewhere. It's going to happen over time. And as long as you're strategic and you have a plan, like eventually you will have built something for yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. You always make me want to use HomeSnap. I need to get on it.
Love it.